What's going on? It's the RapNerd, and I just got out of seeing a new horror film that released Friday called Him, directed by Justin Tipping. Saying his name because he directed it, not Jordan Peele. Now, the film follows a kid named Cameron who, since a young age, idolizes one of the best professional football players by the name of Isaiah White. So he trains his whole life to be like him, and then he finally gets the opportunity to be invited to sort of a football boot camp hosted by Isaiah White himself. But when he gets there, he comes to find out that there is a lot more going on than just practicing to be the greatest. Now, I'm going to say off rip that I actually like this movie a lot. I enjoyed it, despite what a lot of reviews are saying. I know this movie is getting just an onslaught of negative critiques and comments, and hey, I understand it. I see where those critiques could come from, and I watched a lot of them before seeing this film, but I personally don't feel that way, and maybe it could be because of what my expectations were. When I first saw the trailer, my biggest fear was that this was just going to be a psychological horror film that was a big metaphor for, you know, the brain damage that football players receive, as well as damaged, bodies, wrapped in horror, and none of the horror stuff was going to be real, and it was all just hallucination. And while there is some of that in there, this movie is definitely a horror film, and what you see, and a lot of what you see, I would say, that is gruesome and violent is actually happening and not a figment of Cameron's imagination. And that's what did it for me. I was like, okay, this shit's real. And because it met that expectation, I had a lot of fun and enjoyed the hell out of this movie, honestly. Now, first of all, the biggest thing with this film that makes it so good to me are the performances with Marlon Wayans, and I believe his name is Tariq Withers. Marlon plays Isaiah White, Tariq plays Cameron, and these two brothers do an excellent job in the role. You really believe this concept of Cameron being this kid who doesn't know any better, and he just wants to do what's necessary to be the best in football. And I love the way they even showed how his come up was as a kid, and then going to be this star playing football in high school, and who eventually does get a body injury himself. And you see this struggle of his dream fading away to still wanting to uphold it and be one of the greats, and he plays that part really well, and he sells just being an athlete. The dude is like 6'something" and pretty well built, even put some of his football skills on full display at the beginning of the movie when he's throwing the football to hit the goalpost, and I believe that really was him. So the fact that he has that physicality, it makes it really believable. And the same thing with Marlon, him playing Isaiah White, he's in great shape, and he manages to play this cool and warm kind of mentor role, but also snap into pure craziness to a point where you're questioning everything that he does, but he still can bring that warm nature back really quick. And then there are moments where he just goes fucking crazy, and you fully buy that he's into what he's into to be where he is. Shit's pretty nuts. So their two performances carry this movie and make it what it is. Julia Fox is in here playing Isaiah's wife, and she walks this line of kind of like a influencer slash basic girl, but also has some sinister intentions under what we're seeing. And I think that she's an added bonus to those two carrying the movie. And secondly, when it comes to filmmaking, I am a very visual person. I love beautiful visuals, and this film does not disappoint when it comes to that. Almost every frame in this movie is brilliantly crafted, from Justin Tipping's framing and what he chooses to show in the frame, even jumping back and forth where a frame may move slightly just to show a little bit more of what's going on. And the other reason why it's so beautiful is the set design. I believe the production and everyone who set up the rooms and the sets did a wonderful job of keeping the frame interesting when it comes to the colors, or just having these weird people in the backgrounds. There's a lot of stuff in here that I want to rewatch again, that is for sure imagery that is talking about what the reveal actually is. And I really like how when they start delving deeper into the world of, football they touch on many different things as the film goes on. They have a little bit of mockumentary when it comes to like Isaiah himself and Cameron being the new guy that's up in training to be one of the new GOATs. I love how they handled that. I love how they showed a lot of the stands and how crazy people can get. And honestly, the location of where all this takes place almost gives me a little bit of Kanye West when he was in Wyoming, personally, especially having Julia Fox there. And I think that really was the draw for me and Kanye, because I feel like this could be a play on him as well, because a lot of these spaz out rants and moments that that Marlon has reminded me of some shit Kanye West was doing. Even just the weird shit, like I said, the stands, that some of them are wearing outfits like with hoods and face masks that just look strange, and it just all feels very cult Kanye West like, and I feel like this is definitely taking aim at him. And for me, this movie is intense. From the regular training regimen and the way that they depict it, it's in your face and you get exhausted just watching them train. But then when shit gets nuts, for instance, in the trailer, I don't know the particular name of it, but the ball shooter hitting the dude in the face, like, it is way more gruesome in the movie than it is during that little clip. And just the way that was handled adds intensity to not only the violence, but what it could be like to be a quarterback of that level of control for a professional team. And I also really enjoyed this weird ass nature and atmosphere. It kept me on my heels because I really didn't know what to expect. Everything is just, again, so strange that you might see something in passing and be like, what the fuck was that? You're never given an answer to it, but you may see it again later, and as more information unravels, you start to understand why that's there and why it looks like that. And the third act for me, I absolutely loved. Though it was a bit expositional in how it happens, I still like that it was presented, because again, my biggest fear was that this movie was just going to be a big ass metaphor, but it actually wasn't. There is something sinister going down with Isaiah White, and when it's presented, I'm like, oh. Then it makes me think about those who are considered to be GOATs. I'm like, are you doing that shit? Because some of y'all, man. And there's something I wanted to add in that I forgot to say as I was editing this video, so I want to add it here. This movie is clearly not taking place in this reality. Everything in this film is overly exaggerated to absurd levels. It almost feels like an episode of The Twilight Zone on drugs. And it kind of puts you in this position that you're either messing with what they're selling you or you're not. So I understand how this film can be very alienating and make people not like it. The absurdity is like cartoon level, but I enjoyed that actually. And a movie that comes to mind that kind of has the same type of vibe and direction for me is Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. There's a lot of things thrown in there that are there for stylistic reasons and a lot of cool imagery, and the cinematography is great as well, but not all of the ideas connect like you would want, where there's just stuff that you're like, why was that there? But I like Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 a lot because of how abstract it is. This is not to say like, oh, if you can't enjoy abstract art, you won't like him. I'm just putting it out there for the levels it takes it to, and I feel like that's valid as to why people have so many criticism from me. So overall, man, I had a good time watching this movie. I liked it a lot. Will be buying a steelbook. Just saw Amazon put the link up, and I am excited to bring it home and watch it again. And if you don't agree, it's fine, okay? No need to be disrespectful or call me whatever, because I've had that happen before. But that's the beauty about art. Everybody sees it differently. Personally, for me, I got a lot of layers from this film in ways that I perceive it. And this is not to say the movie is perfect, because if you go looking, you can definitely find stuff. But the things that are questionable don't take away from the movie for me personally. So if you are interested, I would say go see it for yourself, because you may not see the same things that people see, and I feel like somebody's opinion should never stop you from seeing a movie or indulging in whatever art it is. It's all perspective, and that's the beauty of it. So if you've seen him, let me know in the comments what you thought. Again, I thoroughly enjoyed it, and try and keep it spoiler free for now, because the movie just opened in theaters. And of course, if you like this kind of content, make sure to like and subscribe. And if you already are subscribed, thank you. Until next time, peace. RapNerd Productions, no capping, that's word to mommy. Instead of banking on it, now rapping is just a hobby.